my God, Griff shaved his beard. Let's talk about that. Look at that. So handsome.
It's looking good.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Wow. Okay. Intentions and distractions. My intentions is to go through the agenda, talk about our give and inner give. My distraction is Griff's beard. And I'll pass it on to Griff.
So my distractions is Mitch's mullet mohawk, and I guess it's not a mullet at all, but it used to be, and it's sad that it's not. And as far as intentions, sorry, what is the prompt? I got distracted.
Governance, intentions and distractions. Governance.
Intentions. Last week for retro PGF stats, so getting our marketing up for optimism is like, I don't know if that makes sense in this call, but that's like something we could talk about. And other than that, I think we're all good. I'll pass it to Monique.
So, isn't it the steward call or governance call?
No, we changed it. So now the governance call always starts at 9. And then every other week we could just get a full hour, And the stewards call is after.
Yeah. Yeah, just hanging around, trying to listen, work in the background, and be in the loop for governance. And I pass it to Franco. How are you?
Thank you, Monique. Intentions for the call? Yeah, just catch up, sync on what's going on the forum, Dev Connect, and this is interesting to me. The NRGIF, like burning that, like see what's going on. I don't know. I know that we had that talk about like maybe doing it through rewards, and yeah, that's it. No distractions. And I'll pass it over to Almond.
Thank you, Franco. Intentions. Well, I don't know if we can mention these retro PGF marketing. Griff is mentioning. Up to you, Mitch. And distractions. No distractions. And I'll pass it to Ashley.
Thanks, Almond. My intentions for the call just to see what's going on in the forum, maybe check in on this new working group proposal that DAOOps put up, because I know I'm next in line or should have already been working on it last week, but I want to start. That's my priority this week. And just check in on this new Optimism DAO, whether we're going forward with that. I think that's really it in stream. And yeah, my distractions are just I'm a little bit hungry, but I'll deal with it. And I will pass it over to Jake.
Cool. Thanks. Intentions, just listening. My distraction is we haven't had power at our house all day or the city block I live in. So now I'm down to just working on the phone. So everything's pretty small and tough to see what's going on. But let me pass it to Lauren.
Thanks, Jake. My intentions are same as everybody else's regarding our Give DAO, our Give DAO, Optimism, Chaos, and the marketing for Optimism. If we talk about that, I don't have anything else, so I'll just pass it to Santi.
Thank you, Ashley. Lauren, same as always, catch up on everything that's going on, especially the NRGIF migration, and no distraction. Think Surbian Noraz, the last one.
Yes, thank you. I'm here just to keep a check on what's happening in the forum. No distractions, but I'm just multitasking and reviewing some of the work done in the day. And I will pass it back to Mitch.
Okay. Great. Well, I'm going to thank you everyone for your check-ins. I'm going to stick this RPGF marketing thing here. I don't know who wants to go to tell us what's up and what we need to talk about.
So you want to go with that right away? Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Go ahead, Griff.
No, I go for it. I also want to add, if we're going to do any Giveth hackathon projects during Istanbul, I was just
Can
that.
we do that in the Dev Connect call? Because
Sure.
I already have a hackathon team. I'm already on it.
Nice. I was just curious on that.
Mohammed, me, we hacking.
Fuck yeah, that's exciting. I hope we have some.
He invited me, and he didn't invite me. I don't know.
Monique, I think you should start your own team, man. Monique, I think you should compete.
Because I don't know how to code, but this gentleman knows, so because of that, sorry for interrupting.
I say compete, man. Grab a mean and Christopher, or who knows who else you can grab. Just start. Let's build some teams. Lauren, I don't know if you want to take a hackathon team, but let's see who wins in the Giveth Galaxy. It'd be fun. Anyway, retro PGF marketing. We can talk about that in Dev Connect call. Retro PGF marketing. I just wanted to check in with you, Alman, on what we're doing there and see if anyone has any other guerrilla marketing techniques that we can apply. We have this is the last week to get the impressions that we want in Giveth.
Well, from my end, we are doing this OP paid campaign on Twitter, which we discussed, I believe, at the end of last week. So some updates on that. Laurent mentioned some of the KPIs that we could make some content around. So in that issue that I post in the chat, you will see the doc with the questions. So meaning year-round donation platform and optimism, donor rewards for people, give power, some social media posts and impressions. So that's the doc. Go ahead and jump in, add your thoughts if you have some feedback on that. Then the idea is to fill this information as fast as possible, meaning these optimism results. I believe that Lauren will help me with the first 4. I am already talking with Anna Maria for the 5th collaboration with Retro PGF, and then I already posted the social media post impressions at the end of the doc. And the next steps would be to fill these results, create the content with Lauren, and then talking with Ahmad, he mentioned we can make some separate posts that will be tweets, paid ads. So we will have one thread and then a couple more of separate just solo tweets that would be also part of the campaign. And I believe Griff is already working on the accounts that we will be targeting. I believe that you are on that already, Griff. And Ahmad is ready to go. Ahmad basically will run this campaign, meaning he will execute the campaign. He's just waiting on the content. He's already aware.
So what do we need to, I'm curious, like what do we need to decide regarding this?
Yeah, go ahead, Griff, if you have something specific.
I'm wondering if there's any, like, one of the stats that I'm going to push for in our Retro PGF thing, doc is like number of impressions, and I'm hoping to get those numbers up this week. We don't need to target badge holders for that. We just need to target people that will retweet optimism, basically, probably target their followers. So I'm wondering if paid ads are going to start this week at all.
Well, I think that's more Lauren. I don't know how's your scope, but I think that these depends a little bit more on you and I finishing these content as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to create like a thread basically summarizing Giveth's contributions to optimism, and have just like a big kind of like massive like thread like we did in previous Retro PGF rounds. And then I can do that today, and if we want to basically break that down into like smaller pieces that are smaller tweets that we use for the marketing campaign, we can do that.
That's cool, and we could probably just repost
Is there
that.
anything? Do we need everything? Like, is this related to governance, or do you guys want to figure out this marketing campaign? Is that something that we need? You know,
I'm mostly just saying, hey, if anyone has any ideas on how to get marketing outreach this week on with Twitter, especially Twitter posts that reference optimism, oh man, let's do it. That's all. If there's other topics, we can move on. But I thought it would be the last thing on the first.
Sorry, I heard that it was like a big priority, so I thought there was something that we had to like decide as a group about. But if you guys just need to coordinate the marketing thing, I think you know how to handle that. Unless there's something contentious or I don't know.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well then, the thing that I wanted to, so I guess you guys know the next steps for this, just to not leave you in the lurch regarding our PGF marketing. More or less. Okay. Griff's nodding. Nobody's unmuting. The other thing here, okay. Burn and our give tokens. I wanted to know people's opinion about this one so that I can do it this week. So there was like a problem because people aren't able to vote on the NR give, and we still need to do givebacks and nice tokens from there. So my thought was like, since we have one on optimism that's like exists and more or less works, can we burn the majority of those tokens and then just like a few people only have to vote on givebacks and they can do it using EVM CRISPR? So that like, because one, moving the nice tokens won't work. It won't work to do it from like another thing. Givebacks, you can do it, but it'll be like a lot of like multi-sigs and this and that, and it'll be a lot of extra work. So I want to know if people have any opinions on that.
Whatever makes your life easiest is what I would say, and governance here easiest. Then our give is an artifact now if we have it on optimism, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I'd probably burn most people's tokens except for maybe about like maybe 5 or 6 people, and then only 3 people need to vote to actually send out givebacks. Okay. Cool.
I just want to add, like, that's the way we have set it up at rewards, and like apparently for some reason, like the Aragon DAO like doesn't load the previous like things, but it's working now with the new vote. So I still had to create it through like EVM CRISPR, like the voting, but like it shows now. Like I don't know, it's a strange thing that happened with Aragon. Now it's working.
Yeah, I talked to Samus several times, and he said it's still related to like RPCs or something like that, but I don't know. Okay. Cool. Well, then I'll do that, and then we know how to do it. And then, yeah, and then maybe just touching on that there. There's a few votes. I think everything's kind of clear now. We had a little bit of craziness with like the votes not showing up in the names, but it looks like everybody's figured it out now. It's like, if you make one, then the newest one is probably yours that shows up in the list. So, yeah, from Danny's forward, everything should be in order. Like there's no more like mystery ones or duplicates. So make sure that you look in this forum post here, and then you can reference who is who for now. And hopefully Gabby's going to fix it when he gets his computer, I guess. Anything around that? I know a few people had it in their check-ins. Like, do we have more questions about it, or?
So we just forget about voting on Nazi's DAO anymore?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes.
all right. And do we already have the tokens on the optimism one?
Yes. Griff, when he made the DAO, he copied everyone's holdings over.
Perfect. Thank you.
Interesting thing, maybe if you guys like looking at it going forward, I probably will do this one and then we'll figure out a different system because we're kind of Aragon's just clunky in general. So looking at like maybe doing like reputation tokens through rewards working group. Me and Franco are chatting about it. Maybe we have like a separate snapshot for just like reputation tokens only. But yeah, I think that's the direction we're going. And then I've got like a cool side project where like I'm trying to set up so like maybe we can even just use one DAO to send out givebacks on all of the chains, which would be pretty cool. There's like this cross-chain messaging thing that we can use, and I'm trying to see if I can get it to work, which would make it even easier. You got anything, Franco, that you wanted to say?
No, not really. I'm just like interested in like hearing what's gonna happen, so we can keep on talking about like the reputations, which is like a thing. Like I think it's pretty cool that we can start using karma and praise as a tool for creating reputation tokens. So it's a cool way.
I just hope we use Optimism to host the reputation token.
There's actually like the attestations like that Christopher worked on Optimism as well, so we can also consider that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because ideally we would send out the same RGive tokens, not a new one, you know? Which can be done. That's no problem. Okay. So yeah, just to summarize, probably this last one, this RGive distribution that we're in currently, and then hopefully the system will change and be a little bit less work before the next quarter ends. Okay. Okay, we got through that. So just make sure that you take a few minutes just to vote on everything in the Optimism DAO. Please, if you're here passively listening to the call, doing some multitasking, stop multitasking, go into the DAO, vote on the things, please, okay? So that nothing fails and we have to redo it and whatever. Great. Lots more things here. DAO Ops Season 2 proposal. Threw this up late last week. We're starting our new season. I tried out this format to maybe give an example for everybody else, open to do it differently. Here, you guys can see everything that we said we would do based on that bullet list on our proposal. And then I added in the status. So most things are done. The buddy system bot still needs some more work. The onboarding and offboarding guidelines, you can see it's on the forum. And we didn't manage to facilitate any team bonding opportunities. So that was our only fail from our proposal. Sorry. Interesting thing here, maybe since Jake's on the call, we spent about 62,000 during season 1. When we estimated we would have a net spend of 33,000. This was because like GM contributors spent more time working in Giveth than vice versa, so we didn't bring in as much revenue from that. And we also didn't know that we paid Griff from the fundraising costs as well. So that was another bite there. So that's the update. That's about 37% above what we estimated to spend. Some GM contributors have changed their contracts to Giveth, so we no longer pay the 30% markup. That's including myself and a few others. So that should bring down the costs. Some of the wins here, so Octant, Gitcoin grants, Arbitrum. This is just for the last 3 months context. This doesn't include our PGF. And some integration stuff that we have to build, Superfluid, ETC, Solana, that we all got money from them to go and build as well. And then here you can have a breakdown of the deliverables. Some of the big things that we want to do is have this retirement plan that we just talked about for the RGive DAO. Do the analysis on all of these like self-review forms that we've been getting for like the last couple of years. I don't think anybody's done anything with that information. Clockify guide, onboarding, offboarding guidelines, and then all of the regular stuff as well, making sure people get paid, making sure vesting goes out, making sure our voting apps actually work, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the grow. Spending is going to be about 65,000 for the season. And then you can see here in the subsequent versions, we just cut progressively the scope on things. I'm not going to read through all of everything there. That's pretty much the most of it. Does anybody have any questions or comments on either this proposal or the format or anything around that?
I think it makes a lot of sense and I think it looks great. I'm curious, with these working group proposals, like with the options for grow, sustain, and shrink, like every season, do we have to make a grow option every season? Or like
What do you guys think?
I think it's important to have 3 options. If you don't want to grow, then that's your sustain. I mean, I think it's valuable to give the DAO like the opportunity to grow if it thinks that it needs to grow, you know, especially Communitas. Honestly, I want it to grow. And, you know, I would love for there to be a proposal for you to hire someone else to help build
I
more.
hired somebody last season, and so far it has not been going so great. Like finally, she's just starting now at the very end of the season. And so like I tried that option last season, but honestly, it's just like really difficult because our contributors don't really have any bandwidth. Like Almond went to comms, you know, like Nicola's really my only contributor right now. Like Serby's helping a little bit with strategy and things like that, but like really it's just me and Nicola, and we have other things with project verification and like all this other stuff too, you know, so it's just like it's really hard to have the bandwidth to grow more than what we're already doing. So that's why I'm curious, because it's just like I don't know if we have the capacity to grow with where we're at right now.
I think that's why it's important to actually, like, I know that takes more bandwidth to think about it, but it's important to look at if we could grow, what would we do? What didn't we do in this season? And we're consciously choosing not to keep not doing it. So there's value in looking at what we would do if we did grow, even though we may likely choose not to do those things again. Having the option to look at them is important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, also just to like say a little bit about how I'm feeling about like even just being a steward of a working group. It's like when we first became stewards, it was like, okay, we have to come to the community call and give updates. And now as stewards, it's like we have to do budgeting, we have to do hiring. Now maybe I have to do firing, you know, like all these other things that are now our responsibilities as stewards that weren't our responsibility before. And like, to be completely honest, like I don't want to be anybody's boss.
Yeah. And I mean, just like agreeing with Ashley totally here. I mean, like, I don't mind so much hiring. I want to have an influence over hiring and firing in my working group. But like all this like budgeting and accounting and all these different things, it's like, I have never been good at this stuff and I've never wanted to do it. And now just like, because I've been good at leading people to develop stuff and like been good at marketing, somehow it's like within the scope of my work. And it's just like, I hate doing it and I don't want to. But, you know, I mean, I'll go through the motions, but I'm not going to do a good job because it's just totally not what I do.
I think it's important to remember we're a team, you know, and the role of the steward is not to do everything, but it's to make sure it gets done. You know, to be accountable for it being done. But if you don't feel that you are able to perform all those things on your own, look around. People, you know, it takes a village and everybody has different skills. And if you're like, I don't want to fire anyone. Okay, well, you know, fuck, I have to fire people all the time. So I can fire people for you. You know, if you want someone to do the accounting, I hear Frochel's pretty good at it. You know, like
Frocel and Breechies are
these
both.
are yeah. So, you know, it's really just about making sure that there's a product manager type person who is managing these things and making the decisions because they're in the right place to make those decisions. But executing on those decisions can be delegated. And if you don't feel like Ashley, if you don't feel like you want that role or you don't feel like good delegating, you know, you can also just be an executor and we can find someone, you know, we can say, hey, no, we need someone else to be the head of Communitas. And that's okay. You know, it's up to you on how you want to play it. But I don't think that there's a wrong way. And I also don't think that all the weight has to be on your shoulders to do all these things.
This is a really good topic for us to dive into when we get together. And remembering that season one is just season one, and we learn a lot from this first one. You wouldn't expect people to get up to speed on everything here. It's a good time to reflect and see what we're learning from it. I'm definitely hearing this, and I'm glad I heard it because I'm working on what we're going to talk about in our groups at Give Connect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. It's something that I wanted to bring up, like if we do it on conference or something. It's definitely leadership within Giveth and DAOs in general is a topic that I really want to talk about because I feel like I just need more support being a leader. So.
Okay. Yes, one more. Go, Franco.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was just like going back to the thing of like having 3 different budgets for the proposal. I did it like in the last time I only had 2 like budgets. I did like sustain and grow, I think. And then like, for example, like what I'm seeing through this season is that maybe like even if we got like the sustain option, like, and we didn't accomplish like all the goals that we wanted or whatever, like that just means like I'm looking at the numbers and we're just going to be under budget, you know, and that's it. Like it should make sense like that. Like having 3 options like doesn't mean like you have to go through with it. Maybe like you get like a grow and then you couldn't like accomplish everything, but you just like, I guess you're going to be under budget for that and that's it, right?
Yeah. I think it's important
to everything. Go ahead, Griff. Please take it.
I just think it's important to give the community a chance to signal on whether or not your working group's doing a great job and needs to expand, or we need it more so it needs to expand, or you're not doing a good job so we should shrink it, or we don't need it so much so we should shrink it. You know, it's good feedback. Sorry, what were you going to say, Mitch?
Oh, I was going to say the opposite is you don't deliver everything and you go over budget. Then it's like the community can see it. The idea is like, here I can show you everything that we said that we were going to do and everything that we failed or like didn't do it in time. And then you have that context when we do the voting on the next thing, you know? It's like, is Mitch doing a good job leading the DAO? Is DAO Ops delivering the things it was said it would? Is it staying on budget? And to Danny's point, probably not going to get it right in the first or even the second season, but that we're getting better and figuring out how to do it, you know? We're cutting into the Stewards call a little bit. Thankfully, we usually finish that one early. But there's two other things that I don't think are a huge rush, but just to put into your view, is these offboarding guidelines, speaking about DAO ops and everything, and what we just talked about. So we took a stab, myself, Heather, Nicola, Nico, Frashell, at suggesting how to go about offboarding people, which is something we haven't been very good at doing in a decentralized manner. So just take a look at those. I don't think there's any urgency to, have this done or, but please, since it's very important and for lots of reasons, just take a look at it. The whole thing about like switching leaders is something that we weren't really sure to talk about. So maybe we'll have it like as a separate post or a topic that we can touch on during Dev Connect. But just please read through that. And the other thing was from Heather on, I can't find this here. Give Connect Part 2, which I think is, Heather, maybe you can jump in, but I think this is more about reimbursements and dates.
Yeah. It's it talks a lot about reimbursements and just like what is going to, it talks about our schedule from the 6th to the 20th and what each day we will be doing. So there's links to the ETH Global Hackathon as well. Also talks about our accommodation info with the website, and then hot topic is flight reimbursement. So full-time contributors are eligible for an 80% reimbursement, and part-time contributors are eligible for 50% reimbursement. And if for some issue or for some reason you are blocked by personal finances, then we can offer you an interest-free loan. And then also plus ones are able to attend and get their accommodation covered by Giveth. However, plus ones and family members are not eligible for flight reimbursements. We have more forms for you to fill out around accommodation and swag. We are also talking about meals and food, and that 2 to 3 meals a day are going to be covered during the Giveth retreat, and then breakfast is going to be covered during Dev Connect. And then also outside meals are not going to be reimbursed. Talks about different important groups to join. Telegram groups. One is our internal group, and the other is the EF Dev Connect group. One topic that I think is worth discussing here, since it will affect our budget, is whether or not Giveth will cover the visa fees or the visa fees, because it looks like everyone needs to apply for an visa to be able to enter Turkey. And it seems like the amounts do vary quite a bit. On the high end is around $50 to $60, and then on the low end is around $20 from what I was able to research. So that's, I think, one topic that we need to discuss is whether to reimburse for e-visas fees.
Yeah, and Heather, I know you're going out now, so I'm going to be facilitating the call on Wednesday morning for us to dive into these things a little bit more.
Is there a call this week for Dev Connect?
Yes, 5 p.m. CTE, and we'll be doing it every week until we meet in person.
Okay.
So
Cool.
We can talk about
Tuesdays
this
or Wednesdays?
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays. Great. Can we push that to that one? That call, Danny?
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, unless you had something, Griff. But I really wanted to jump into the stewards when we.
I was just going to say, I think it makes sense to cover the EV visas as long as they're not ridiculous costs like the same we do flights. It makes sense. It's not ideal because our budget is growing rapidly, but it makes sense.
Yeah, please, if you guys have things to chime in on that, come to the call on Wednesday because I'm putting together a budget to take a look at so we can understand the impact.
Yeah, I mean, if it's over $200 for any individual, though, we should like really check on that. And I don't know.
If it's really minor, like it's like $60, I mean, I would rather pay for it than like increase our budget for the Giveth thing. I mean, it just seems like it's already gonna be ridiculous expensive, and I'm really worried about like our costs for the Galaxy overall. If everybody just pays $20, I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, we can talk about it on Wednesday. But those are my 2 cents.
Yeah, let's talk about it Wednesday. Because I want to hear from all these stewards. So we'll follow up on some of these things. Make sure you vote, all that, yada, yada. I want to transition the last 20 minutes into the stewards call. So if you're not a steward, you're welcome to stay. But I mostly want to hear from working group. Actually, Griff, do you want to lead this? I feel like I'm just talking all the time, you know.
Sure. Let's hear from the working groups. What were we gonna say? What were we gonna say, Mitch? Just tell me what I was supposed to say.
There's 2 questions here. That's it.
Okay. So we want to hear from all the working group stewards and ask you what in the last 2 weeks, what was your working groups or chapters focus, and what is the focus for the next 2 weeks? Mitch, let's start with someone who's not talking all the time. How about Almond? Do you want to talk about your focus and these 2 questions?
Sure. So as I was mentioning at the beginning of governance goal is optimism marketing, especially with Twitter, trying to run that as fast as possible so we have more time to actually show the content to the people that we want to show the content to. So priority optimism first for the next 2 weeks. And well, that's my focus. And what is my focus for the next 2 weeks? So optimism, retro PGF marketing campaigns. Then my focus would be Polygon QF round. So as soon as we finish everything regarding optimism, the comms chapter focus will be started with Polygon, maybe not after finishing, maybe at the same time. So I would say that that's my focus for the next 2 weeks. I have other things, but honestly, those are the most important. Do I need support? Yes, I need support from Lauren, basically, as same as we team up for optimism, counting with her review on content and with the optimism content that we will be working today too. So I would say that I basically will need support from Lauren and Rodri to create some designs as well. And I think that's it from comms. I don't know if someone wants to mention something maybe that I'm missing just to complement this, but that's it from me. Noctant. It's saying Lauren. Octant.
Yeah, and Retro PGF, I'm working on the actual form. That I don't know if that falls under comms, but that should be done on, well, hopefully Friday.
Cool. Well, Octant, if you can add it there too, Griff. Perfect. Cool. And I'll pass it to Ashley.
Thanks, Almond. The last 2 weeks, we were really focusing on Getting the Telegram group up and going, that happened, so that's working. And we've still got some more, like, I think, organization to do with the bridge bot or whatever, but for the most part, the group is now live and people can talk in there. So maybe we'll start to put some announcements in there as well and just be more active. We also were focused on Meet the Makers and like really forming some strategy as well as like making it a bit more robust, figuring out different ways that we can help project owners to share with their audience and like help them to promote their project to their audience and bring more people to the event as well to like help promote the event. So I think that's been like the main focus for the past 2 weeks, other than like all of this support that we've been offering to users and non-users, getting their projects in the QF round and helping with bugs and issues and transferring and yada yada. Some of that's not Communitas, but and then next 2 weeks, I think our biggest focus is getting this working group proposal ready to go and up in the forum and not get too behind on that. As well as like planning for the next Meet the Makers. I'm wrapping up the ambassador program so that by the end of this week, everything should be due. They still have some time to onboard projects, but that's coming to an end for this season. I think that's it. I might be missing some things, but I think that's the main bulk of it. And maybe I pass it to Franco.
Thank you, Ashley. The focus the last 2 weeks were getting updated with like getting the distributions out. We're a little bit behind because I was taking some time off, and yeah, just basically that. I know that Danny has been working on some analytics and preparing something special for DevConnect, so that's really exciting. And yeah, that's like the focus the last 2 weeks. And for the next 2 weeks, it's like Ashley mentioned, working on the second season proposal, and hopefully maybe talking with Mitch about this, like making praise as a tool to distribute reputation tokens. That could be a thing. And yeah, keep on distributing and getting up to date with the distributions and quantifications. So if you're a quantifier, I think there's no quantifiers here that are in this period, but yeah. That's it, and I'll pass it to Lauren.
Well, we in the QF, we mostly focused on getting the optimism round live, and now are running the optimism round. After this week, we're gonna have to do the Sybil analysis and then get started for the next Polygon round. Also doing some just like outreach and stuff to try to, like, ENS might want to run a QF round in December, so kind of like working with them and pushing that. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on in the QF working group. I guess I need to make a working group proposal soon, but I really don't want to do that, but I will. I don't know. Do I need support? Yeah, I mean, but I pretty much usually ask for it. Like, I haven't talked to Ashley so much about the support we might need for onboarding projects into the Polygon round. I just want to make sure that we have like resources available for them. But other than that, like, yeah, we'll need some comp support, but Almond's already like super well in the loop on that. And I need dev resources, but I usually yell for those when I need them too. So that's all. And I'll pass it to Mitch.
Cool. Well, I guess I'll talk about the DApp. So the last 2 weeks, we were hitting our head against the wall trying to figure out mobile and Web3 model and letting people use their phones and desktop and all these changes. Also working on the multi-sig thing a little bit here and there, trying to push that forward. But we also got blocked by what I just mentioned before with this whole mobile whatever connectors. So working on that, specking out the issues for Superfluid, finishing designs, getting it ready to be worked on. A lot of stuff on Solana as well. Talking to the new CTO, getting her opinion because she's a Solana developer, so that's cool. And making issues, hopefully, to start working on it when we can. Following along the homepage improvements, just speaking for Marco and Surbi, it looks like Marco is working on the final design. And just today, I asked if they wanted to put in like some sort of A/B testing software into the DApp as like a paid thing. So I have to figure that out now as well. Of website tracking software for design. Anyway, what I want to do in the next 2 weeks is I want to finish up most of the above. Finish the multi-sig Web3 model. Start work on what's the other thing I mentioned? Superfluid. Monique's going strong on ETC. Ether Classic. And we also need to wrap up the Morocco and Libya campaigns at the end of the QF round. So that's it. Maybe I'll pass it to Monique for the development, or if you want to talk about anything I might have missed.
Thanks, Mitch. We managed some paid work. This is the only thing that I can say. For regional score, pairwise, symmetry, Helix Xstyle, all of them for DGM projects. And it brings revenue to our working group. We did OPQF round release that was very important. At least for testing back and forth stuff issues. As you said, ETC is going to finish. And same with you onboarding Krati. I'm picking some, other projects for the fundraising team. I plan to onboard Mirjeff to other projects, but I couldn't do that. I love that I can have her time on other projects. I hope that she can help us there. And I'm looking forward to have some, team building stuff happening. Retrospective meetings, more groomings meetings, and stuff related to the development chapter. Right now we have Krati, and we can plan this stuff more with her.
Cool. Great. You want to pass it?
Yeah. Kai. I pass it to Kai.
Hey. There are not too many updates because our goals are longer and more. We are also a very small team. So it's mostly the same. Nicolas is ending his onboarding period, so we want to keep him, and so he will be onboarded as a full contributor now. And Moshe Hub will handle that, and we are coming along quite well. I want to give another talk to the devs soon on how to look at the troubleshooting things if they need to look at the logs. We did all to have centralized logging and monitoring, which is very powerful, but not yet used, I feel. This is one thing that worries me a bit, is knowledge transfer between DevOps and developers is still sluggish. I wonder how we can improve that. So, because an important next goal that we
already wanted to do, but obviously we're trying to go a bit slow to not break anything, is to also change the production environment to our new stack. So we have it running everywhere. It's running now for the longest time in staging, but yeah, we want production there to have more stable production and better error handling. Yeah, the only support is, like I said, developers. Otherwise, yeah, who still has to go?
Griff,
did you go?
Yeah. Hello.
Griff, not Kishon.
You didn't go with your working group, right?
Well,
All right.
I'm not a steward of any working group. Maybe fundraising, I guess I could say something.
That's not fundraising. Sorry, yeah.
Am I a steward? I don't even think I am. But I think that's DAO-Ops. I mean, did you already go, Mitch?
I didn't do DAO-Ops, but I was like, Griff, if you have anything, this is your...
I mean, Jake is here, but at least I can... hey, Kashal. But this is for the stewards, though.
Yeah.
It's not like everyone talks one. But it's good to see your face, though.
Yeah.
Did you have something you wanted to say, like, really quick?
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, what's happening, like, what's happening, and more about, like, what we are right now, like, writing here. So, like, what like, happening. So,
you joined late. This is the steward's call, so just sit tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like where all the leaders of working groups and chapters just say what's happening in their in their corner of the ecosystem. So at least, and I'll pass it to you, Mitch, after. But fundraising, it's all about retro PGF. We have to get every project needs to get their submission in if they haven't already. TC has theirs in, which is cool. And that's where all of our focus is now. But then I think it'll quickly shift to Octant and whatever other opportunities are in the space. On the general magic side, I'll just say we're pushing really hard with all the Arbitrum research and actually looking for development work more in the DeFi space than public good space in the Arbitrum ecosystem. And Mitch, I don't know what else you want to say for DAO-Ops.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly there in the DAO-Ops, last 2 weeks was a lot of finishing up the type forms for leaders, agreements. Of course, everybody knows about the Clockify drama. That was a lot of our time last week. Setting up Clockify agreements and the new workspace. We got a lot of stuff done, actually. Drafting the offboarding guidelines. We got that done. And the DAO-Ops Season 2 proposal. I think that's like, maybe Heather, I think we got everything there. Next 2 weeks is going to be DAO-Ops proposal. More setup on the Clockify so that people can track their PTO from there. Tracking PTO, getting our contributor costs running from there, and creating onboarding material so people aren't so lost trying to use Clockify. And the other fun thing is this side project that kind of resulted from this whole NRGive migration to Optimism. Is figuring out what we're going to do with how to run our system simultaneously between needing a reputation token but not being able to use the Gnosis chain Aragon DAOs reliably. So I spent a lot of time late last week looking at how we can control all of the givebacks on every chain through this cross-chain messaging platform, which is a lot of smart contract work, which is fun. How to make Giveth run from one chain, multiple chains. And the other thing is the talks with rewards or reputation token instead of quarterly RGive distribution. Yeah, I think that's it. Griff, is there anything else on your mind?
Retro PGF. Let's kick ass for Retro PGF, and also consider forming a team for a hackathon during Dev Connect. We can't let Mitch and Cherik and his crew they can't be. We don't want them to be the only ones representing Giveth. First off, that would just be tragedy. But also, I think they can be beat. I wouldn't mind some internal competition in the hackathons to see what we can build. We're all there for that week, and it's a great time to show off what public goods in crypto. So I would love to see us in Dev Connect. Public goods always win these hackathons. So, and there's $600,000 in hackathon prizes. I will talk more about it in the Dev Connect call on Wednesday, but let's go for the gold there.
There was one thing I wanted to ask Ashley, because you said you were struggling with hiring and finding people. I don't know if there's anything that we can support you with or that can be done to help you.
Well, I mean, we just hired Maya, who's starting now. She's still in her trial period, so we're seeing how that goes. She was on vacation for a while, so she was absent. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know the best way to move forward, to be honest, with being a working group leader and trying to do all this stuff. And I don't know. I feel lost for sure.
Can I help in this working group?
Yeah, I mean, you're helping a bit in Communitas, but I'd be happy to maybe help you to take on some more tasks or something. I don't know. I was a little bit worried. I haven't seen you for a while, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was not well, I guess. So that's a problem. But now I'm well. I'm very, very well. I'm fine. So yeah.
But like what Griff said, there's a whole village. So if there's any way that you could be supported or...
I'm definitely here to help for hiring Ashley, so I can have a call and we can talk around what's going on in your working group and see what needs you have, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Tyler.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to make sure because that you got some support. Okay. That's all I got. I know we're late for a fundraising call. If you have any more questions, feel free to hang around, but I know I want to respect everyone's time otherwise. If not, if we're good, then I guess we can say goodbye. And we'll do this again same time next week.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.